Okay, apologize for the delays here, but I'm having some technical difficulties with my sound. Like, for some reason it's not capturing my, like, music, you know? Like, any sound outside of my voice. And I'm not really sure why. I guess I'll, like, crank it. Doesn't seem to help though. Well, whatever. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and I'll jump into this replay analysis here. It's just very weird. Whatever. I guess I'll just figure that out later. Why? I was gonna start playing like music in the background of my VODs, but I don't know. For some reason, XSplit doesn't seem to be playing any kind of outside sound right now. But we'll go ahead and get started. So today we have a normal Sona loss. Sona game that was a loss. And we'll go ahead and do this replay up. I'm excited as it is a Sona game, and Sona is kind of my favorite champion at the moment. So we'll go ahead and just get this started. Let's see, updates for me and what's going on with me. My team had a really rough weekend. Pretty much all played really bad in all of our games. We got knocked out like second round in Go for Law. It was really bad. We had a sub in the jungle. I just played really bad. Like, I got caught twice in lane for no reason. Our mid lane had a rough time. And our jungler got like really far behind his Nunu, which really shouldn't happen. So it's bad. We lost in the second round against a team that we definitely easily should have beat. And so that was really sad. But anyway, we're just writing it off as an off weekend. We talked about some kind of... Oh, my low replay seems to be bugged. Oh, there we go. We talked about some like communication things. I talked to some people on the team. So even though it was really unfortunate that we lost, hopefully good things come from that. So okay, got my stuff in the right settings. So you are Sona. As far as your starting item goes, I don't know. I don't like the starting item with boots, 1 potion, and vision ward. Just starting 1 ward, I think really gimps you. And then with Sona, like, Sona's very mana dependent, and so I think that Fairy Charm is like really core to start on Sona. Like, Fairy Charm is just so important on Sona to start with because of how much mana that you use. So I don't really like this start. Like, you don't need the boots. It's not like your Taric or Ali or Blitz where you really try to get in position for these big shots. Like, your whole goal with Sona is you poke with your Q to power chord combo. And you don't need boots to do that. Like, you need bush control and just be on the front line when they go to last hit. And then they choose either last hit you and take free damage or trade with you. So I don't really like that item choice start. It's okay, but like... I don't know, especially against the Taric. Bush control is so important against Taric. So he only started 1 ward too, so it's actually going to work out really well for you in this situation because Taric only started 1 ward. And if you just counter his ward, then you don't have a ward spot. But I'd encourage you to start Fairy Charm on Sona. Just that mana regen is so important. With Sona Vayne, you're pretty much going to poke as hard as you can to try to get them off Vayne and just let Vayne farm. Like I said, in general, your mindset with Sona in lane should be get as much poke damage as you can. So your whole goal, sit in a bush. When they get too close, you Q them, power chord them, W, and run away. And you never do an extended trade. You never trade longer than that. It's just Q, power chord, run away. Excuse me. That's kind of like your goal in Sona, what you try to do with Sona. So hopefully you're maxing Q. You pretty much always want to max Q on Sona. Like, the only time I'd ever not max Q on Sona is if like you're losing really bad against a heavy poke lane. But that's like last resort kind of thing. You don't want to just run up to Sivir like that, and that's exactly why. In fact, if that Taric was paying more attention, you would have just died right there. So really big mistake. Like, you can't trade like that with Sona. With Sona, you need to hit them with your Q power chord when they're already like distracted, so they're not going to hit you back. But like a Sivir, if she's not doing anything else, she's just going to right click you and throw her Q in your face. So like right there, you get that Q and then you run back in the brush. Like that's good Sona harass, but you don't want to do like big harass on Sivir when she can harass you back. You want to get her when she's distracted or when her like her boomerang blade's on cooldown. Right there is a really good time to go on it, to go and get that harass. And if you keep being like so aggressive, you're just gonna run yourself out of mana without starting with those mana or with mana regen. So, as far as Dune's Mastery, 27 armor. I don't know what that means that you're starting with armor wise, but so once again, just running up to them for no reason is so dangerous, and like you had to flash out from that just because you run up to them, they're not distracted, you know, they're perfectly able to like go on you, and you probably honestly, like if you're playing against better lane opponents, would have died 3 times by now. If that Taric is like stunning you when you step forward out of position so far, like you just die, and like there's nothing wrong with poking Taric. So if you can't get close enough to poke Sivir, then just poke Taric. Like poke someone. But you're not going to be able to like run through Taric to poke Sivir, because Taric will just kill you. He'll just stun you and you'll die. Like Taric Sivir has a lot of burst damage in that lane. So they do have Twitch chat open if you want to talk while this game's going on. So that was really good poke. Like Sivir's distracted last hitting, so you get your Q power cord off on her. Like that was really solid poke right there. I don't know why this Taric just like doesn't stun. But anyway, so this lane, like you just have to be really careful of Taric's stun. Like you can get bursted if you get Taric stunned and then he walks up and shatters you, especially with no flash. Like you can literally just get bursted from full, like if Sivir ignites you. So you have to be really careful. But that's a really good poke right there. Like getting that poke is how you win lanes with Sona. Ooh, exhausting Taric is kind of a mistake there. Like I feel like Sivir could have just gone in and killed Vayne, but with the exhaust on Taric. Oh, the heal was enough. The plays. Kind of a misplay. Like Taric could already use his abilities. The only thing you can really do is right click Vayne and like use your exhaust stopped, like it reduced the damage of 1 Taric auto attack. So your exhaust prevented like 20 damage there. And if Sivir was like paying more attention, she could have just killed Vayne as soon as you exhausted Taric. But that's okay. But just something to keep on, like you very almost never ever want to exhaust their support in a lane fight. That almost always needs to go on the AD carry. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? No, I just like skipped massively ahead for some reason. So let me fast forward to where we just left off. Just blah 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 blah. You flash out. Fights. They push back out. There's another fight. And then you force them to base. Okay. Anyway, so the heal saves Vayne. She lives like no HP. Alright. Anyway, so you guys do a good job. You push the lane before you recall, which is always a good idea. You should probably stay to help push this last wave before you peace out. But I was trying to see how much gold you have, because the one thing is that when you start boots, it delays your philo and delays your first gold per 10 on support. So by starting boots, you could have had philo here. Well, maybe fairy charm. Like assuming you would have already had the fairy charm, like 150, 180, or 250. Alright, 150, 220. Yeah, I don't know. It would have been close. Like, I don't think you actually would have had philo on that buy, so it might not set you back that far. But just like that's one of the reasons I don't like boots, is it does delay your philo stone further. But that's okay. So like I said before, one of the biggest things when you're laning against a Taric is establishing bush control. Like you don't want to allow him to sit in the lane brush, as that allows him to control the lane and get stuns off without. Oh, be very careful. Like if you get stunned, you just die 1v2. This is something that like you can't ever do at bottom lane. Like if your lane partner is there, you can't. Like against good opponents, you can't even touch creep, so you're just gonna die. So, or at least you're gonna get zoned really hard. So this is really scary of you. I have no idea why Taric isn't stunning anyone. Like you literally, if Taric stun shattered you and Sivir hit you with her Q, like that's literally going to reduce you down to 100 to 200 HP. You have to be really careful with this. If you're playing against a better Taric, you would like get severely punished for this kind of play. Like right there, that kind of damage was without Taric Shatter on you. And Taric Shatter right now is, oh, he's actually leveling his heal. Well, it's going to reduce your armor by 10, which is going to leave you pretty squishy, so just be careful there. Like right there, you just see how much damage Sivir's Q does. Like you can't get hit by that, or you're just going to lose the lane. So you're not being smart with your poke. I don't want to say you're being too aggressive with your poke, because being aggressive with poke is good. And you know, out poking like a Taric or Leona or Blitz, that's how you win that lane against them. Another big mistake by you is your positioning. Don't stack up next to Vayne for stuff like oh, I'm talking to viewers and I missed that. I'm actually going to rewind to see what happened there. So just don't stack up against like Sivir Q so that it hits both of you. It's just silly. Like there's no reason for you to be right next to Sivir. Yeah. Vayne needs to tumble out of Sivir's Q there, but this is like when you're playing with a Vayne, you can't be aggressive. Like you can't fight against a Vayne. Vayne is way too low, or way too weak early for you to be like aggressive and fight them early. The other thing is like you gotta be careful. Like you're clearly gonna get dove here. You flash out of the second part of Sivir's Q, but oh, that exhaust came so late. Oh man, was it on cooldown? Like, alright, I have to rewatch this. No, your exhaust is up. Like, I don't know why the exhaust was so late. Like, right there, the exhaust needs to come out on Sivir. And if you exhausted Sivir right there, you honestly probably could have lived. But that exhaust came when you're, like, already 100 HP. This is one thing that I see is very common with lower level support players, is that, like, they don't use exhaust early. Like, they hold on to exhaust. And it's like exhaust you need to use like the instant a fight starts. Like the instant they dive you, you exhaust. Or they're already like committed in that turret. That exhaust is just going to reduce Sivir's damage and make it so she can't run out of turret range. Like that's when you exhaust. You exhaust right away. You don't like, oh, I think I might be okay here. Oh, I'm going to flash. Oh god, I'm 100 HP. I'm really screwed. Now I exhaust. No, that exhaust needs to come out way earlier. Another thing is you have to realize like a turret, think of it like another person. So like that situation where they had two people at full health and you at half health, like they can tower dive that pretty easily because the turret's just like one extra person. So that's like a 2v2 for you where you're half health versus a 2v2 where they're almost full health. And like you misplayed it really poorly with your summoners. So like there's no reason for you to die in that dive with exhaust and flash up. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, this is why it can be kind of frustrating leading with a Vayne. Like, Vayne's early game is so weak. Essentially what it boils down to is in lane you just farm. And if you can poke them, go for it. But it seems like Taric is maxing his heal in lane, so he's going to be able to actually sustain up a lot of the poke damage that you put up. So the rest of this lane is just surviving and not getting caught out by them. Oh, okay, I have to pause this because this is a really big deal. Okay, if you're playing Sona, always take your E by level 4. Like, this is such a big mistake. Your E power chord is amazing. A 40% slow for 2 seconds on your E power chord with a 6.72 second cooldown. You just E, W, Q, and then you're, as soon as your E's up again, like if you E power chord, then immediately W, Q, and then as soon as your E's up again, you cast that, your power chord's up again. So you have, like, with a 6.72 second cooldown, you have a 40% slow that's up, you know, about 30% of the time. That's incredibly powerful. And not taking a point in E here is a massive mistake. Like, E provides so much utility. The slow is amazing. Like, it's such a big mistake. And then here, like, I don't see you using your power chords very effectively. So like if they engage on you in that situation, like you want to use your power chord W, ideally, power chord W, to get on Vayne. And I'm going to pause this again because this is just so important. Another reason why you always get an early point in E is it allows you to proc any power chord at any moment if you have all your cooldowns up. So let's say like you had no power chord stacks, that fight happens. Well, what can you do? You can Q and W. You don't have a power chord until your cooldowns refresh, so you don't have a power chord for 6.72 seconds. But if you have no power chord stacks and you have E, you cast, you save whatever power chord you want to do for last. So in that situation, you want to use a W power chord. So you'd save that W last, and you go Q, E, W. And then almost instantly, you go from 0 stacks to full power chord ready on the spell of your choosing. So that's why, like, on Sona, you can use any power chord at any time if you have all your cooldowns up, no matter how many power chords you stack. So just keep that in mind. Like, and this is why it's really, really bad not to take a point in E. It gimps your power chord rotations and your power chord usage. And it's just like a power chord slow is so important. It's so powerful. Big mistake. You had a good ulti on both of them and it ended up saving the Vayne, but just oh, don't face check Taric Brush. Oh no. Oh man, that was a lot of damage. I don't know why you put, like, you went toward it and I guess you misclicked and just walked into it, but you can't face check a bush with Taric in it. Like, that was really scary. I mean, the other thing is, like, you're gonna get dove again here. And like that's just silly on you. Like, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on them. I guess you're baiting for the monkey gank, so that's not that bad. But still, like a half health Sona against Sivir Taric, you're just gonna die. But your team is actually gonna be able to clean up okay here. But like, there's no reason for you to die there. Like they would have stayed at that turret and been tempted by you at low health, whether you actually got caught or not. So it's kind of silly. I guess you're baiting for the Wukong. I didn't see that. But still, not a real reason for you to die. And once again, this is kind of why I don't like starting boots. Like, you still don't have a gold pretend. It's now 11 minutes in the game, and you don't have any gold pretend items. And so, you know, starting boots is just delayed that so much for you. You're also leaving base without any wards, so you didn't have enough money to buy wards. You just got the regrowth pendant. And you're kind of almost forced to do that because you're in such a bad position. It's like, okay, well, if I don't start building my GP10, I'm never going to get it. So that's something that's pretty scary. But actually, I'd probably just base after this dragon and either finish my philo or pick up some wards. So, because that's 190 gold. That gets you your philo. So right now, like, you have enough money, you can go back to base, buy philo and a ward, maybe even 2. And like it's so important to get your philo. And this goes back to what I was saying about bush control being really important against Taric. I don't know why you ran forward into that brush. Okay, I'm gonna have to rewind this. I don't know if you're trying to position for your ulti. Hold on. Rewind. I need to look at your cooldown, so I need to have you clicked here. So, alright, your ult is up this whole time, so you weren't like waiting on ult. Anyway, so Taric stuns Vayne. That exhaust, like right there, was the perfect ult timing. You were in position to ult both of them, and it would have been just the perfect disengage. But you saved that ult really, really late. And I don't know, like, as soon as you hear Sivir blow her ult, that means they're committed to this engage. And so you immediately ult back, and that disengages them for a small period of time. And I have no idea why you ran down into this brush or what your master plan was there. Massive mistake. Like, you could have gotten out, especially with Flash. If you just ran, you could have gotten out. But you ran down and just ensured that they get a double kill. Actually, I don't even think they killed you. Yeah, they didn't kill you, but like, you might not have even had the flash. I don't know. That was really weird that you ran down. I have no idea why you did that. So, I mean, in general, one thing I'm noticing with your play is, like, you're being very hesitant to use your big abilities. Like, you didn't ult right away. In that tower dive, you exhausted really late. You exhausted pretty early here, which is okay. But, like, you exhausted instead of ulted, which is weird, because your ult has a shorter cooldown than exhaust, right? I mean, your ult, 134 second. Exhaust, well, it says 0 second, but I mean, you can just see you cast them almost the same time, and your ult's gonna come up sooner. So, like, always use your shorter cooldowns first. And so, I just don't know why you didn't ult there. That seemed really silly. The other thing is like you have to have bush control against Tarek. You still haven't bought your Philo. I don't know why you didn't buy your Philo. Like, how much money did you have when you were in base? Like, you're coming back from base right now with 175 gold. Like, you could have just not bought that third ward and gotten your Philo stone. Like, it's something I have to really stress. It's very, very important on support to get that Philo stone as soon as possible. The sooner you get your first gold per 10, the sooner you get your second gold per 10. So it's a snowballing, like, compounding effect on your gold income. So, like, you are significantly behind right now. Tarek has 2 gold per 10. You have 1. Like, this Tarek could buy a pink ward for every single green ward that you buy and still be generating more gold than you. Like, you're in a horrible position, and so what's happened this game, there's been a few main things that I've seen. So first is poor itemization choices. Starting boots I didn't like, and then like you end up getting behind by poor play and then stalling that Philo stone right here. Like, you're on port to have 2 gold per 10 and maybe boots 2 at the end of this game, nothing else. So like you're really, really, really behind. The other thing is like your hesitation. So like hesitating to ult here, hesitating to exhaust on the tower dive. That hesitation is killer. And then one of the other things that I've seen is like oh man, this kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. But like face checking them and just like running up to them and getting caught out of position. So like we saw early in the lane, you just ran up to Sivir and hit Sivir, and she was just like, okay, right click, queued you, and like that's a bad trade for you. So, and then like right there, you have no vision of this area. You just saw Vigar here, and now he's missing, and like a Vigar is gonna just own you at this point. So, there's that. So there's that. You need to establish bush control against Tarek, and that falls back into your poor itemization and how far behind you got. Like, you couldn't afford the wards to get them back in the game. Yeah, at this point, like, Vayne is so behind, she can't even do anything. Yeah, so this is looking like a really bad game so far. I know, like, in your lesson you said, or in your email you said, like, this was definitely one of the worst games you've ever played. So it was an especially poor game. That was an odd ult on the Vigar. You guys pick up the kill, which is good. It's best to ult like the person that's tanking tower aggro in a dive. And once again, just really poor exhaust choice. Like, you don't want to exhaust Tarek. You don't want to stay there for sure. You actually live, which is impressive. But like, I guess exhausting Tarek almost picked up the kill on him, but for some reason Sivir just like stopped attacking you and you lived. And so like, you should have died there. And exhausting Sivir would have like guaranteed that you live. Exhausting Tarek was kind of a greedy, like, okay, you're taking out Tarek aggro, I'm gonna like exhaust you so it's hard for you to get out. Same thing could have been accomplished with an E power chord, assuming you have your E now. Which, oh my gosh, okay, I have to pause this because this is like amazingly frustrating to me. Like, okay, E by itself is an amazing spell. Move speed is like the most underrated stat in the game. Move speed is probably the single best stat in the game. And A, just a passive move speed aura, amazing. And a move speed boost on activation, also amazing. And, okay, so passive move speed aura, amazing. Move speed boost on active, amazing. Slow every 6 seconds for 40%, amazing. An extra ability to proc your power chord and get more power chords out there, amazing. That's 5 facets of amazing that you have forsaken by not leveling E up until this point. This is like, this is a massive, 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 massive mistake. If there is a guide out there that tells you not to level E on Sona, like, I want to see it, because I'm going to write a Sona guide soon, and I'll have a word with these guide makers, because, like, you need E, if nothing else, if you think that you don't get enough out of 1 point, because it's only like 4 move speed in your aura, and 6% on active, which, you know, those aren't big numbers, Just the slow on power chord is so good and doesn't scale with levels, and then you need it to proc your power chords more often. It's so helpful for that. Like I already talked about, if you have all 3 abilities, you can activate the power chord you want at any moment in time if all your cooldowns are up. And I talked about that. Let's say you want to get your E power chord for the slow. You save it last and you hit QWE, you're guaranteed to have a power chord stack up. That's the spell you want slow. Say you really need a W because they're diving your carry. Like Katarina's on you, just jumped on your carry. QEW, you have W power chord on the Katarina. You know, stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna unpause it. But that's my spiel for this game. Like, okay. This game honestly is like really not looking good, and then you just end up getting caught by Taric. This goes back into bush control. Against Taric, you have to have bush control. You cannot walk into stun range of an enemy Taric if you can't see him. Like that you either die or you get chunked. Either way, it's bad. Like you cannot walk into stun range of a Taric bush. If you know Taric's in a bush or you don't know where Taric is, you can't get in stun range. So that's going to be a double kill on your lane. Oh, okay. I guess they're too afraid to dive, but that was like free kill in vain. Excuse me, I'm really tired. Now, if it's any consolation, your turret's down, so Vane's going to be able to farm easier now. Alright. Looks like you guys are trying to pick... Oh, you guys have such an amazing AoE comp. Or no, never mind. The Malphite's on their team. But still, Sona ulti to Cannon ult is a really, really powerful combo. But you guys haven't been able to have a successful team fight because like you're just so far behind individually that you can't group up for a team fight. Because like bottom is just going to shove. Oh, you finally have your E. Thank God. Like your single biggest mistake this game has not been not getting your E. That's so bad. Hey, I'm streaming. So you have power chord up, you have power chord E up, and you're not using it to slow the Sivir. And I'm not sure why. Like, why did... Okay. Pausing. I don't know, like, if you don't realize what your E power chord does, but your E power chord is a 40% slow for 2 seconds. That's a significant slow. At any point here, you just had to use that E power chord, like... And I'm bringing this up because it looked like you intentionally Q power chorded her. Like you intentionally did not use your E power chord so that you could use your Q power chord here. And like if you just E power chord her, Wukong catches her and she dies. No need for ultimate. You just E power chord her, Wukong catches her, she dies. Yeah, it seems like you're not familiar with Sona's mechanics or are not aware of how Sona's mechanics work. So your power chord, your Q power chord doubles the power chord damage. Your W power chord reduces their damage output by 20%. This is also amazing. Your E power chord slows by 40%. Amazing. Like in lane you end up using Q power chord a lot for harasses. In fights you almost exclusively want to be using your W and your E power chord. For just to save your AD carry, essentially. So you W power chord anything that jumps on your AD carry, you can't get them off. You E power chord anything that's trying to get to your AD carry that a slow can prevent. Q power chord really is not that useful in team fights. Like your power chord does 108. It's 108 bonus damage nuke. So you can either choose with every power chord. You're either choosing 108 damage nuke, 20% damage reduction for 4 seconds on like an enemy champion. That's going to be more than 108 damage. Or a 40% slow for 2 seconds. Like, that choice should be exceedingly clear. Alright, so just to recap things that have gone bad this game. First, item decisions. Don't start boots, try starting Fairy Charm. It gives you more mana to spam. It also helps build into your GP10 faster. which helps build into your second GP10 faster, which helps solidify your income. And remember what I said earlier, you're on your path to finish this game with 2 GP10s and maybe boots 2? Well, you didn't get your second GP10 and you got boots 2 first. So what that means is you're probably going to finish this game with boots 2 and 1 GP10. Significantly far behind this Tarek. Actually, this Tarek isn't that far ahead. I guess I was looking at Hecarim earlier when I said Tarek had 2 GP10. Alright, so maybe you're not as behind in items as I thought, but I feel like you should be. Like, you are definitely behind in items. Maybe this Tarek isn't running GP10 Quints or something, but I feel like he should be way ahead of you. With like 7 assists. That's really weird. But anyway, so itemization. Skill order is a massive one. So just champion specific things like your skill order and how to play Sona. Like, you can't, as far as mechanically when you play, like mechanical things in the play, you can't hesitate. You can't hesitate on exhaust. You can't hesitate on your ult. Huge mechanical thing with Sona is learning how to manipulate to get power chord procs. With only Q and W, that significantly lowers how often you can do power chord than if you just had 1 point in E early at level 4. Massive mistake not picking that up early. And then just like E slow is so good. Please use it. And then just kind of some like decision making things as well. You can't approach a bush with Tarek in it without vision on Tarek. Like, you can't get in stun range of Tarek. You can't walk up to the enemy AD carry if they're not distracted by last hitting, because they're just going to fight you. And you can't win a straight up trade against an AD carry with a nuke like Sivir or Corki or Graves. Like, you want to get that poke on them either when they've used their nuke and it's on cooldown, or when they're like distracted going for a last hit. Those are the big things that I saw that game. I think that's about all I have to say. If you watch this, thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also check out me on Twitter. That's at rockalockalililol. And then if you have any questions about like Sona, I am expecting to write a guide on solo mid soon. And feel free to ask me. Leave a comment in this thread about asking about Sona or anything like that. And that's about it. All right. Thanks.